Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I am super excited to be sharing with you what I'm going to be calling my signature makeup look. And this is actually the fourth video in the Cruelty Free 2019 group collaboration series that was started by Jay Homey. Of course, her channel will be linked down below. But this month's topic was chosen by Tash, and Tash was super creative. I feel like she's always really creative with her video ideas, but she chose that we're gonna share what we're gonna call our signature look. And that could really mean anything. For me, the interpretation that I took is, what kind of color schemes have I always been drawn to when it comes to makeup? Like, for as long as I've been wearing makeup, these are the colors that are my go-tos. What kind of makeup makes me feel super confident? And it's the kind of makeup that I feel like I can wear in most instances. It's not something that's like occasion specific. Tasha's video was super cool. I was really happy to see her do like her full face, because purple lips is just always the thing that I think about when I think about Tash. And so it was really interesting to see her version of this video. Definitely head on over to her channel to see her version of this, and I will link down below the playlist for everyone's contributions to not only this theme, but all of the previous themes of this collaboration. This has been so much fun. So yeah, let's just hop into my signature look. So I do already have my brows and my base on. I was already doing a little bit of running around today, so I didn't want to be like completely barefaced, but I felt like this was going to be actually a really good starting point to film this video this afternoon. So I have my bronzer already on my cheeks, and as of late I haven't been doing just bronzer on the cheeks. I usually do highlighter, but I wanted to kind of save that and do that on camera with you guys. So I already have brows and bronzer and base going. Eyes are primed. We're ready to go into more of the color cosmetics. I am going to be doing mostly like olive greens and browns on my face, keeping it very neutral, like earthy tones, because that's really just what I feel the most me and the most confident in. It's the kind of makeup that I'm just the most drawn to, and honestly it's starting to really get on trend now, so I feel like this is the perfect time to share this sort of video with you guys. So I do want to share with you just a couple palettes that I would gravitate towards to create this kind of look. My first love of makeup, this was the thing that truly got me into those greens and coppers and these more earthy natural tones. This is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. As you can see, I've hit pan on these two shades, which are both the eyelid shades, and I honestly for like probably 2 years straight would wear this eyelid shade all across my lid, and then the green on the inner corner or on the lower lash line. And this was like my go-to palette for days when I wanted to feel really confident and have like my kind of signature makeup look. It would always be this palette, and I just don't want to use it today because this is not available anymore. And then as of late, every time I have like something special to go to, or I just really feel like playing with makeup and having just like a good old time, I've been reaching for the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. Again, it's just like a further extension of that color scheme. So it's got the browns and the greens, and it's just a beautiful like mustardy, dirty olive kind of palette. I adore this so much, but I just don't want to use it today because this is not available at the moment either. So I'm gonna start out this look with this bright yellow from the Zulu from Juvia's place, and I'm just gonna use that to really buff into my crease and kind of like be like above my transition sort of area as well. This is gonna be a very like buffed out and very diffused makeup look. But that's honestly what I feel the most confident in. Even if I'm going with bright colors, I just feel like it suits my eye shape to have a lot of color on my eyes and to really bring the color beyond, because my eyes are so hooded. So for me, I just tend to really exaggerate the color on my eyeshadow, and I just feel super, super confident in it. So I'm going on the exact same brush, which I forgot to mention is a Royal & Langnickel crease slash smudge brush. This came in an Ipsy bag like years ago, and I just love using the exact same brush for the majority of a makeup look, so we're just gonna keep rolling with it. Now I'm going into Team Captain from Colourpop, and I'm going to bring that onto the outer portion of my lid and onto like the outer third, and then I might bring it up a little bit into the crease depending on how I'm feeling. So let's just start it out here. What I ended up doing with that color is I actually brought it almost halfway across the lid, but it is pretty much a gradient, so it's the deepest on the outer portion, and then it is a lot lighter as it comes like towards my iris. So as you can see, it kind of looks like I have more than 2 shades on my eyes already, and that's what I tend to like, is I want to use fewer shades if possible, but have that high impact where it looks like my eye look is way more complex than it is. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with kind of the star of the show shade, and that is Colourpop Tea Garden. This is a beautiful gold green with like an olivey kind of life to it. It is so unique, and I think this color is very special. It's not like crazy intense pigment or anything like that, but there's something just so special about the way that this looks on the lid. So I am gonna just pop this onto the entirety of the lid with my ring finger, or not the entirety, but probably like about 3/4 of the lid. And I'm just using my ring finger so that I can get as much impact as possible. These kinds of shadows are my absolute favorite on my personal eye color, because I know you can't really tell on camera, and honestly in real life I feel like most people can't really see it either, but I do have a ring of green around my eyes, and then I have the brown. And so I think that these kinds of colors really complement and sort of do enhance that. So unfortunately I didn't realize that my camera had actually turned off and overheated, but I was actually doing my lower lash line, or trying to do my lower lash line on camera, and I was kind of saying how back in the day, when I first was getting into eyeshadow, because my eyes are so hooded, I honestly thought I could only wear eyeshadow and eyeliner on the lower lash line, because otherwise everything would crease or it would be completely lost. So I tend to still go pretty like heavy on the lower lash line, because that's really where I became most comfortable with wearing eyeshadow. And I feel like it may close off my eyes a little bit, but it really does like draw attention to my eyes. And I love a really smoky look on my personal face. I think it really does suit my style. It may not suit like my features maybe as much as having nothing on the lower lash line would really open up my eyes. But I feel like for my personal style, I like something a little bit like grungy, a little bit undone. And so I just brought Team Captain down on that lower lash line, and I am just gonna, just because I'm working on panning this, I'm gonna go into Urban Decay Thrash, and I'm going to smudge that on the lower lash line as well. Pop this on the lower lash line here, and then really try to buff it out. I've just always worn eyeshadow on that lower lash line, and I remember I had a single pan of MAC Woodwinked. It was kind of like my most treasured, coveted eyeshadow in my collection. I had a couple like CoverGirl little palettes, and that was really about it for several years, because eyeshadow just, I thought, wasn't a thing for my eyes really. But Woodwinked, I would run that on my lower lash line and really smudge it out, and I felt so cool and so grungy and so like alternative, and I just felt like that was like how I was supposed to look, because it really was this beautiful bronzy coppery color that really played off of the browns of my eyes, and really did draw out the green in my eyes, because it really did pull off of that. And that being said, I'm actually going to go into Get Paid, which is kind of the same sort of color. I'm going to put that into my waterline. But it just felt like that was like my kind of makeup look. It was the only way that I could wear eyeshadow. And so every time I do something with a heavier lower lash line, I always think about that time in my life. Definitely was a look. I'm so glad that I discovered eyeshadow primer, and I now realize that I can wear any eyeshadow I want, just as long as I use some primer, because that was an interesting time for sure. But yeah, so continuing on with the eye look, I am going to highlight the inner portion, and I definitely could use that Tea Garden color, but I'm just going to go into the ABH Amrezy Highlighter, just because I've been absolutely loving this lately, and I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner with a smudger brush. This one is from Lottie London, and this also came in an Ipsy bag. Most of my brushes that I tend to use most often actually all come from Ipsy bags, and they're getting pretty old at this point. And with my inner corner highlight, I do go pretty ham too, because there was a time in my life when I would literally wear like the most icy white eyeshadow on my inner portion, and I felt super cool doing that too. And it just like, I feel like it draws a lot of attention to my eyes and brings a lot of light to my eyes. So that's just what I kind of always do. And while I'm in this pan of highlighter, I'm just gonna go in with this Colourpop fan brush, and I'm going to actually add that to the top of my cheekbones before I add my blush, because I already have my bronzer on, but I've been loving doing my highlight as like my first step for my complexion lately, but I didn't want to put this on off camera, so just going to pop that on. I love the way that this highlight looks on the skin. It just melts into my skin so much. Then I'm gonna go into the Hourglass bronzer that I am also panning in my Roulette Pan Collab, and I'm just going to kind of dust that on top of that highlight just to not tone it down, but to mesh it into the skin a little bit more. I'm using barely any of this because I actually have it on already. And I go pretty heavy with the bronzer usually. I love a good bronzed complexion. I really got into bronzer, I'd say probably about 8 years ago. I hated the way blush looked on me so much, but once I started getting into like wearing more eyeshadow when I was maybe like 2021, when I found the NARS Smudgeproof Primer, eyeshadow primer. When I got into that, I was like, okay, well, now I feel like I need to balance out my face with a little bit of something, and I just hated the way blush looked on me, so bronzer it was, and I used that Wet n Wild bronzer for forever. And I am going in with a blush right now though too. I'm using the Essence Satin Touch blush, but as you can see, it is a very bronzy blush, and that really is what is in my comfort zone personally. I just love something that just really is more bronzy, because again, it's just kind of all of my personal like favorites when it comes to makeup are still extensions of what I originally fell in love with, or like how I originally saw how makeup suited my face, and they're just like more steps to that, or like new products in that same kind of realm. And that's just really how my makeup style has evolved over the years. So I just love the way that like nudes and neutrals look on my cheeks with a little bit of glow, but nothing too heavy or really like contrasting with my skin tone. And I've just never really fallen out of that. Like for me, a hot pink blush is a terrifying thing, and I will do it from time to time, but I just don't feel the most myself in that. So I just popped on a couple coats of the Milk Kush mascara. This is my absolute favorite mascara. It's been out for about a year now, and I cannot stop using this. This is a mini. I've gone through now one full size, and this is my second mini, which is almost done. And I also have another mini in my collection and another full size waiting in my collection to be used. So it's my absolute favorite. I feel like it gives me so much drama in terms of length and volume. And I feel like my lashes just look like very, I don't know, very well defined without looking too like separated or anything like that. I really do like a, not a clumpy eyeshadow look, but I definitely am not against the spidery look, because especially if I'm wearing a smokier eye like I am right now, it's not like it's sitting on really a really light color and it's really like apparent and obvious. I think it just adds so much more drama to the smokiest, like to the very smoky eye. So I just go pretty heavy with my mascara, and that's my personal preference. This formula just like gives it to me in like 2 coats, and I just love the way it looks on my personal lashes. I think it really enhances my lashes. So I just went really heavy with it. I do not like watching people put on mascara. There's something about it that just gives me like the actual creeps when I see people putting on mascara. It's like that thing close to their eye just freaks me out. So that's why you guys will never see me doing mascara in a video, because I will never be able to watch that back in editing. So yeah. But I just basically like wiggle it and pull it through my lashes, and it's the same as most of us apply mascara, let's get real. So now we're gonna move on to the lips, and my favorite lip color ever to wear is a brown lip. I know I will wear purple, I will wear pinks, I will wear, well, not pinks a lot lately, but I'll wear reds and oranges and nudes, and I feel like I can kind of pull off any lip color because I feel really comfortable and confident in any lip color. But browns are kind of like where it's at. They're my favorite thing. I feel just like so cool and so like grungy in a brown lip, and that's just really what I think is like the way I see myself, is a little bit grungy, I guess. That's my personal makeup style. So I have a couple different shades from my collection here. I have swatched them all here as well. So the first one that I wear pretty often is this lip lingerie from NYX, and this is in the shade Cabaret Show, so it's that shade right there. It definitely is a slightly pinky kind of undertone for a brown, and I really like it. I feel like that's the most like flattering brown on my skin tone, and that's probably a really good like introductory kind of brown, I think. And then the next one here is the only bullet lipstick formula that I have with me right now, and it is the Colourpop Grunge, and just as the name suggests, it's a super grungy brown, and it's just what makes me feel super confident. I love this color oh so much. I cannot get enough of this color. And then the next one here is Colourpop 0.0. Definitely has more of a gray undertone, and it is the most like true brown out of this grouping. Everything else has a slight red tone to it, but this has more of that neutral to gray kind of undertone. And then the last one is a mini of the ABH Hudson liquid lipstick. And as you can see, it is, again, slightly more pinky undertoned, but it definitely is a true brown shade as well. And I don't know which one of these I want to wear today. I think I'm gonna wear the NYX lip lingerie because I actually haven't reached for this a lot as of late. And I just feel like this is gonna be a really good, more springtime kind of brown shade. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I haven't worn this in quite a while, so I'm happy that I'm busting this out for my signature look. I definitely have more of a grungy style when it comes to fashion as well, and I think that this really suits that. So when I wear like ripped jeans and a band tee, this just goes perfectly with it. I can even wear this kind of makeup look, and I think it looks really good with like a blazer and fitted, like nice fitted dress pants too. I think that this just really works. Maybe I would go a little less heavy on the green on the outer corner and maybe pop on a little bit of gloss, but this kind of look is super versatile for my personal style, and I just feel the most myself in these kinds of colors. And of course I'll do different iterations of this look all the time, but this is really truly something that I just gravitate towards too all the time. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing my signature look using all cruelty-free beauty products. Like I said, definitely go and check out the playlist so you can check out everyone else's signature looks. I think there's gonna be a wide diversity of looks that are featured in this month's theme, and I think that's super exciting. You can definitely get tons of different inspiration from everyone's videos. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed seeing today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.